Good morning, pregame crew. TGIF. It is Friday, April 22nd, 2022, 8:22 a.m. Eastern, 6:22 a.m. Mountain Time. Good morning. You are at the pregame show. If you don't know why you're here, then let's talk about it. We do a stock market prep show every weekday. We go over indices, commodities, crypto, movers and shakers of the day. And my goal is to get you ready for the day with market structure and plan, with if-then scenarios. If I have time, I go over a request at the beginning and a couple requests at the end. That's not my primary job. If you're interested in chart requests getting answered, we do that 3 times a day in the TCG room. So if you're tuning in later in the day, you can fast forward a little bit, maybe 8 minutes. I come on early just to let people, come on in the room and make yourself comfortable, chat amongst yourselves. That's why I get on early. But if you want to just hear a little TA in between then and now, stay on. All right, audio visual check, please. Hey, Chuck. Chuck, where are you? Like, where do you live? I'm just interested to get to know these people who support me every day. I appreciate you. Good morning from Jersey, Remeyer. I'm probably saying that wrong. Diego, Andre, Topher, Dark, Maria, Bonjour, Greg, Fabicino, Lisa, Empower, Dino, Robert, good morning, Amira Asia, my dude Roger and Night Truck and Neil, Ohio. Okay, where are all of you from? How about that? Tell me where you're from. Canada, Chuck. All right. Okay, here I go. I'm going to Google. Do not laugh at me. Calgary, Canada map. Is that east or west? Right in the middle, huh? More west. Oh, you're right above me. I'm in Idaho. You're right above me. If I know how to do geography, which is a little questionable. Arizona, Matt. I'm heading there this evening. Charlotte, Chicago, California. Lisa, I knew you were a California girl. I just knew it. Michelle, I think I got some stuff for you. Ian, you got wrecked? No getting wrecked. Durham. Oh, I love Durham. Destin, the Redneck Riviera. That's my favorite place. Hey, Judd, thank you for being here. And Neil, thank you, my mods. Bronx. Oh, Michelle, thank you. New Brunswick, Cape Town. Oh, Ian. Oh, you're my Africa friend. Now I know which Ian that is. If you have a chart request, we have about 5 minutes before I get started with indices. So put in that chart request. You early birds, you get your chart request done before everyone else. Leona Valley, California. I'll have to look up, where is that? Leona Valley, California. Palmdale. Okay, you're just north of LA. Okay, I know where that is. Denver. Hey, Matthew, how are you? Hey, Colby. You want to look at MJ? Volume is average. We're coming in hot to 840 support. If 840 support doesn't hold, it may be in trouble. We're in Black Dirt Breakdown. Black Dirt Breakdown is just slang that Dan came up with in the Chart Guys community. And that just means there's no support below you. So RSI means a whole lot less. If we break 840, be careful. Daily's not oversold. 4 hours not oversold. Oh, thank you for asking about this one. So let's look at this. All right, so look at the daily. I want you to focus down here. Focus here. RSI is not oversold. Look at this pullback. Look at the size of this pullback. Look at that. Daily's not oversold. 4 hour, not oversold. Look at that. I'm going to tell you what this means. Look at this hourly, not oversold. This is systematic, programmatic, whatever word floats your boat, selling. This is let it bounce, sell it. Let it bounce, sell it. Let it bounce, sell it. It's systematic selling. And they can continue to sell and get price, continue drifting downward, and they can get rid of their shares or sell to open and borrow to sell to just slowly drive down price. There's no oversold bounce here. So we could get, let's go look at that. We could get to 840. We could get to 8:30 right now in the 4 hour and get oversold. We could hit 8:40 and not be oversold. That's scary. That's scary if you're MJ bull holder, or if you're looking for an oversold bounce. It's just not ideal. Good morning, Malachi, my girl Tamazon Paris, Lucas, bonjour. Dan, Colby, Ted, thank you. ICP. The real Death Valley. Okay, Chris, them there is fighting words. ICP. Yeah, I'm just looking at what they do. Okay, weekly, we have enough room for high or low. Daily, we're in a downtrend. We're getting smacked by the daily 50 MA overhead. The volume was super low yesterday. Wow, 100,000 excuse me, shares traded out of 463,000 average. That was very low. I had a red day on a low volume day. 1568 your support. Oh, and then resistance is the high of yesterday, 1668. Hey, Camo. Hey, Jason. Coin. Let's look at coin. We have 2 minutes, and I'll start going over the indices. Coin continues its drift downward, and this is another example of a black dirt breakdown. Weekly is approaching. It is oversold. Daily is not. 4 hour is not. Hourly is not. Do you see that? This is the same thing as MJ. This is super critical to recognize when you have systematic selling, keeping the RSI cooled off. Not oversold, not oversold, not oversold. The only thing they haven't managed to keep cooled off is the weekly, and I would still say that's a pretty expert job. And y'all know I like to call this the yo-yo walking the dog. Walk the dog, walk the dog, walk the dog. Get it to lower lows, get it to lower lows without getting it oversold. This is, let me just say, we give out no trophies, no Oscars, no gold stars for nailing the bottom of these black dirt breakdown names. So they have earnings coming up May 10th. It'll be interesting to see. Are they pricing in bad earnings, and could they get a bounce? Who knows? But there's nothing redeeming about this chart. Nothing. 135.31 is your support. Oh, here we go, AG. Oh, you wanted ICP, Juicy Lucy? Okay, let me go over ICP. USDT. Sorry, I should know that. I just thought it was the stock. Daily has enough room for a higher low. We have a daily EQ. Look at this. Higher high, higher low, lower high, higher low. Daily inside bar yesterday, resistance $17, support $16.34. Hourly, we have a downtrend, and this could be a bear flag. So careful. Support $16.43 and then $16.14. Key resistance on hourly $16.96 and then $17. And then AG, and then we'll get started with indices. Yeah, if you could hit that like button, I'd appreciate it. It helps tell the YouTube algos or whatever that this is an okay show. Wowzer, look at that bearish engulfing. Okay, Matthew, I did the silver rundown in commodities this morning, and I can tell you silver is accelerating to the downside faster than gold. And Dan has noted this inverse relationship where we're moving to the downside on metals. Silver moves faster. And then if we can get some bull momentum in metals, silver can lead the way. So silver's leading the way to the downside. We do have a weekly double bottom that I think is a low risk bottom fish, 2404 and 2408. We're holding the weekly 50 RSI. Daily is not oversold. 4 hour is oversold. So typically it's good area or fishing hole to look for a 4 hour, to look for a weekly higher low when 4 hours oversold. So I think this could be a bottom fish opportunity on AG. Is it 4 hour oversold? Yep. Are we looking for a weekly higher low? No. So you see how that's different than silver? Higher low, higher high, lower low. And that was a major bearish engulfing candle we're forming on the weekly. We're sitting on the daily 200 MA. This is put up or shut up. We broke this by 15 cents. That's enough for a bear break. So careful out there. Good morning. Welcome to the pregame show. I'm Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. This is who I am. If you could give me a follow on Twitter, that'd be great, at Chart Gal Lori. If you want to check us out at chartguys.com, that would be great. We have a wonderful community of pretty cool folks where we look at all types of setups. volume scans, and we're just constantly posting all types of helpful information. And you've got about 1,060 sets of eyes helping you look for potential setups. So what I do here is I go over indices, commodities, crypto, movers and shakers of the day, and I tell you where I see the hottest fishing holes. You bring your fishing poles, and if you could find a setup that works for you and your trading style and your risk profile, wonderful. I say I wake up every morning, all the puzzle pieces are thrown on the floor. I wake up, put the puzzle together, then I share with you my findings. As soon as I turn the microphone off, new data enters the market, and of course things can change. So let's get started. Where are we? Bulls are putting up defense at the current moment on ES, but does it look promising? Not really. So let's go back to the daily. And I have notes that I share with TCG members. As soon as I close the mic, I just hit copy and paste, and I share this with TCG members so they can mark it up as they see fit. If you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the video description below to get a PDF explanation. Here's some of the terms that I use and what it means. All right, so ES, we're holding daily support, 435550. We're holding it. Okay, good. Yet we're below the daily 50 MA, below the daily 200 MA, below daily EMAs. That's not good, but we are holding daily support. What's the fly in the ointment? You guessed it, NASDAQ. We're not holding daily support at all. We're below the 50 MA and well below the 200 MA. So I have heard so many people talk about this potential weekly IHS. So that would be the left shoulder, and this would be the world's ugliest head, and this would be the potential right shoulder. And in order for that to happen, we really need symmetry. You want that left shoulder kind of equal to that right shoulder. We drop below by about 100 points. I would say it's still viable, but again, we're starting off with an ugly pattern. Okay, now let me tell you the other scenario. Potential Adam and Eve weekly reversal pattern. There's the male part, and then bulls would need to turn and burn over the next 2 to 3 weeks to get that Eve part. But let me tell you, I can throw 40 pattern names out here: Godzilla, Dracula, zombie, Tasmanian devil, whatever, addition fork, whatever pattern name you want to throw out to try to give this a bullish connotation, it does not matter. Price action trumps all those cutesy patterns. And I, as a newer trader, was obsessed with identifying patterns. Pattern recognition was super important to me. And then as soon as I figured out real price action, the pattern identification is definitely secondary and tertiary to price action. So don't get hung up if someone's saying, oh, we're in an inverse head and shoulders. Well, you know what? You could argue this is not a big downtrend that we're coming from. And an inverse head and shoulders is a reversal pattern typically found, let me move over, typically found at the bottom of a downtrend. I mean, this isn't a big downtrend, not big at all. You want it to see it more pronounced for this to be a reversal pattern. However, I can tell you, if you go back and you look at the history of NASDAQ, let me see if I can show you real quick an example. Not there. I have to go to the daily. Just bear with me real quick. A lot of bottoming patterns in the market end with the inverse head and shoulders. You see this, we had this little bobble over here, so it wasn't super clear. But if you go back and study, a lot of times it'll end up left shoulder, right. It does it a lot. Now that's not the pattern that you would print for mom's refrigerator, but a lot of times it ends like that. Look at what, again, ugly. But you have these little bobbles where bulls and bears are duking it out. And I would say that this kind of fits that bottoming pattern, but it doesn't matter. I mean, bulls have to prove it in price, and they're not. NASDAQ has to get an hourly trend change with follow through, or what did we just what happened right there? Potential bear flag. This is ugly, but we got a potential bear flag. When you get an hourly higher high trend change without a lot of follow through, bear flag. I don't see anything healthy at all with what's going on in the market. We have elevated bear volume. We're finding sectors all at the low of the day. Let me show you what not healthy looks like. If these were your labs that you brought to your doctor, your cholesterol's high, your hemoglobin's low, your GFR is high, you have CKD stage 3 disease, your proteinuria, your thyroid sucks. Look at this. This is an unhealthy chart. If this is the labs for the market, unhealthy, unhealthy, unhealthy. Oh, you got one green thing. Congratulations, your bilirubin is normal. You've been laying off the alcohol. Good. Everything else sucks. And if there's kids listening, that's a bad word, and don't say that word. So no, I don't view this as healthy, especially when the sector that we lean on the most is weak. No, not strong at all. So NASDAQ has lost this uptrend. When we go look, MG, you're funny. Yeah, I was just a pretend clinician. I just slept at Holiday Inn Express last night. So NASDAQ's getting an hourly higher high without a lot of follow through, rejecting at that 21 EMA. Bear flags are in play everywhere. So y'all want to start writing the T account? So if we're writing the T account, what's on the bull side and what's on the negative side? I need to start typing this out. ES has held the daily support. Okay, you get a little tiny gold star. Bearish, NASDAQ has not. We have bear flags everywhere. Everywhere. Going on VIX. I didn't look at that this morning, my bad. VIX, I guess this could be a potential on the plus side of the T account, as odds favor a daily lower high on VIX compared to 2460. So that would be a little glimmer of hope for the bulls. So that would be on the positive side. US 10-year is a raging bull. That's going to be on the bearish side. See if I can continue this. It always gets messy. So a VIX, potential daily lower high, okay, on the bearish side, the 10-year. So, and on the also bearish side, the biggest one is, you guessed it. Well, you know what? I'll just draw this. An apple. I'm getting no likes for my drawings. Give me a like for my technical analysis, but I know you're not handing them out willy-nilly for my drawings. I get it, okay? But Apple was our problem yesterday. Apple, we talked about it. Raise your hand in this room if you've heard me say 100 times that Apple loves to break support and resistance by anywhere from 25 to 50 cents and then fail. Look above and fail. Look below and resolve to the upside. We know it does this. It does it all the time. So what happened? Do y'all remember this day when I told y'all get a tattoo of 171.94? Was that the tattoo day? I'm going back. Yeah, that was the tattoo day. 171.94. We looked above that 171.27 and we failed. What is that? 320, 26 cents. 0.26 cents. And we failed. That was the nail in the coffin for the market bulls yesterday. They needed Apple to push through. NASDAQ, so what time did this happen? At 9 a.m. yesterday. NASDAQ at 9 a.m., where was it? It was here. It had already started pulling back. So which one was the canary? That NASDAQ was already losing 1 hour higher lows. It made a lower low before Apple made that higher high. But the higher high without follow through combined, it was just a recipe for disaster for the market yesterday. And I know you could probably get 100 technical analysts on the microphone and they would give you 4 different views of what happened yesterday. But that was the most crystal clear pattern of events. And we talked about it yesterday in pregame. Here's the 2 things we're looking for. NASDAQ has to get over 14,300. And Apple has to get above 171.27 with follow through, and it couldn't. It just couldn't. Raise your hand. Okay, so y'all heard me. Y'all heard me. So I'm glad y'all listening. Okay, if we're going to look at the international markets, Hang Seng is down 0.2, and the DAX was down about 2% earlier. It's down 1.56, and again, we track more closely with the DAX, so that doesn't bode well for the markets either. So overall, international markets are not set up well for today. NASDAQ, hourly 4-hour bear flags on the table. RTY, 4-hour bear flags on the table. We didn't even get through 1991. So let's scan through the charts real quick. ES did not get through the hourly higher high or lower high. NASDAQ did without follow through, so who cares? RTY didn't. Dow didn't. Now the Dow is still outperforming everyone, but it doesn't matter. If the Titanic is going down and the Dow is the best swimmer ever, they're still going down. It doesn't matter. So the Dow is getting weighed by all the other weakness in the market. And despite all of these valiant efforts by these bulls, they are just getting weighed down, and they could not get through 34719, and they got a potential hourly bear flag. All right, we talked about the VIX, potential daily lower high. All right, Bitcoin. I copied what Dan said because why wouldn't I? Because he's the GOAT. Bitcoin daily consolidation underway. The burden is on the bulls to get a daily higher low. So one thing that Bitcoin has going over it that NASDAQ doesn't, it's held the daily higher low. So we always talk about Bitcoin being the canary. So in this case, is NASDAQ the canary for Bitcoin? NASDAQ made a lower low. I don't know that I can gather or ascertain a lot from where we are at the moment. So Bitcoin is relatively stronger than NASDAQ because it has held the daily higher low so far. We're opening up inside yesterday's range, which was a huge range, and we could stay within that range all day long. Ethereum, same thing. We're holding the daily higher lows. We're opening up inside yesterday's range, super large range, and we could stay inside another day. Okay, gold. Gold was interesting for me, so bear with me here. So look at the yellow line. That's my daily 50 MA. And again, if you're interested in my chart setup, you can look at the video description below. Click on that link and you'll get a PDF of what all these rainbow bright colors mean. So the yellow line is the daily 50 MA. Look at gold sitting on it. Look at oil sitting on it. Gold and oil sitting in a tree. KISSING, the daily 50 MA. Okay, HG, same thing. Sitting on the daily 50 MA. Nat gas is not. It's well above the daily 50 MA because it's a relative outperformer. And Matthew, this is for you, you silver bug. Silver is below the daily 50 MA because it's a relative underperformer. I like where gold is. I really like where gold is. And I like it because of risk to reward. I want setups where my stops are really close by, and if I'm wrong fast. You know, drink coffee, do stupid things faster. I want to be stupid and wrong fast. I don't want to just linger and have a $30 stop on a futures contract. So where we are, oh, we got a little lower wick. So I posted this in the room. Posted this in the room at 6:03. So about 45 minutes ago that I liked where gold was, and that was here. I guess all the TCGers bought it. I'm just kidding. But I really like where gold is because we're in that zone, and that zone is 1916 to 1933. That is where we are, and I like the risk to reward here. So there's where the 1916 is happening, and 1933 was the support before, and 1929 is where we get to 4-hour oversold. So I've done all that math and I put it in commodities channel if you're interested. So I like gold today. I like oil today. We're in the weekly EQ, looking for a potential daily higher low, and this daily EQ resting on that daily 50 MA. And the 4 hours kind of choppy, but I would say we still have a higher low relative to 99.88. Now we got to go take out 10542. Don't forget Baker Hughes rig count today. Nat gas. Nat gas, this was really funky for me. I didn't like it at all. So this was a tough analysis for me. I don't like it. We're having these big spikes and these big pullbacks. It seems there's some super volatility. There's a gang fight going right down here at Compton. So 715 is your key resistance and 670 is your key support. I don't like where nat gas is. We have a daily inside bar. Yesterday was a large range due to inventory, so I would be careful with nat gas today. Apple. You're welcome, Matthew. Okay, Apple. So, I mean, what is there to say on Apple? I hope all y'all are just like totally zoned in Apple. We are the Apple crushers. There's a potential Apple bear flag going on. And let's think about it. What's the best case scenario for Apple? At this stage, let me do math here. Not going to do it in my head. That would hurt. 3.5% pullback. What's the average true range on Apple? $4. So yesterday's range was $6. Okay, so the average true range on Apple is $4, meaning on an average day of the last 14 days, the difference between the high to low was $4. Well, Apple, the bearish thing that it was yesterday, traveled $6. So if you're a math person and we're here, we're 60 cents above the low of yesterday. Man, this is one of the best ATR examples I've found in a really long time. If we are on our best behavior and we open up all bulls all day, what are the odds that we break 17153? Not very good. That's telling me I probably want to sell a call spread on Apple. I'm writing that down. I didn't think through this earlier in pregame when I was doing my notes. I may want to sell a call spread on Apple above 171.50 because odds favor. We're not going to get through 17153. With the exception of news, I don't see how we could break that high. This is a really good trade setup. As far as risk to reward is selling premium, saying we're odds favor, we're not going to get above that. All right, I've said that enough. And prior support 168.14 could be resistance. Yep, baby AMD is not looking good. It's on resuscitation. Okay, Apple, I'm going to change that for sure. Okay, JPM was my favorite name coming in this morning. I like that we have runway. We have room on the RSI. Look at the 4-hour. You have a potential bear flag. I like a top fish of JPM in the $131 area. I really like that setup. Go a little faster. Yeah, it was a big sell-off yesterday. Yeah. Netflix, I am expecting volatility today. We ended with an hourly EQ. Netflix was actually an outperformer yesterday. Go figure. And we're cooling off the RSI. But if I were a bear wanting to trade Netflix, which I don't want to, I would be looking to short 230 if we were to get there, or even 22845. I would expect volatility. Ninjas only. Roku. Roku's another example of them walking the dog. Look, walk the dog, walk the dog, walk the dog, walk the dog. Look at that. We're not going to let 4-hour get oversold, suckers. Look at this bear flag. I like a short of Roku on a bounce. Y'all, I have been sassy-fied the last 3 days. I get it. I know it. I own it. Okay, SMH, potential 4-hour bear flag. SMH has to reverse and change things in order for the market to get a push. On SMH, short them if you got them. RSI continues to skirt oversold as bears are relentless. So I like a top fish of SMH. 242.71 or 244.60. Snap. Earnings yesterday, they had good earnings. So this is one of my bull setups. And if you're new here, if I give you bearish setups that I like those setups if the market's bearish. If I give you a bull setup, I like those bull setups if the market's bullish. So if we go from the high of reactions, which I posted almost real time that I expected a bounce at 2266 and TCGers can verify, because those earnings were really good, really good. That was algos just stepping in, but they raised guidance. So I like a pullback buy around 29.05 for Snap. And if you're newer to drawing fibs, I would just pull a fib from the low of the earnings reaction to the high, and that tells you what's needed for bull flag to remain. Twitter, lots of CNBC coverage. It's on Twitter, bottom fish setup of yesterday's low. There was a big $1 million share block that went below bid today. That is bearish. So I'm going to be careful with what I say about Twitter. I did this before I saw that huge block this morning. But I do like a bottom fish in this area. I would just wait for tightening ranges on Twitter or stair-step patterns to trade. UAL, upgrade, potential 4-hour bull flag, bottom fish setup. So UAL got an upgrade. You have some pre-market support at 51.40 and then 50.46 on a pullback stair step or high of low bar, whichever terminology you like. I like a pullback buy. XBI, I like a top fish. Top fish on the hourly around $82, looking for a bounce because we're cooling off these RSIs, looking for a bounce to short. Okay, that was all of my list. Okay, I'm gonna go over FCX. I see a request. Now, Copper is holding the daily 50 MA. Look what's not, FCX. That's a bearish correlation. Looks like they didn't do well with earnings on bearish volume, elevated bearish volume. I would not shorten the hole here. Hourly's oversold, 4 hour oversold, no. So I can't go long here because they're underperforming copper, and I can't go short here because I'm shortening the hole because RSI is oversold. So then I just wipe it off my list. So I'm not trying to minimize your request. I'm trying to go from both setups. Do I see either? This looks okay. We got an upper wick of profit taking yesterday. We did beat 254. You got a gap fill area to note, 26274. These retailers have been outperforming. Weekly, daily RSI is overbought. I don't like that big give back. So even if you have a strong chart, they just can't withstand the market pulling back as hard as it did yesterday. So they're just going to roll over. 24425 is your next support. Nope, I wouldn't even support a back burner at this point. Maybe a bounce to short, 251.80. UPST. I'll look at AMD and that'll be my last one. UPST. Daily not oversold. Black dirt breakdown? No, not black dirt breakdown. You have a gap down here. Oh, 62.26. 62.26. I'm gonna set alert for that. That's a pretty big gap below. I don't like it where it is. I would short bounce as 75.53 resistance and then 75.89. AMD. Here's something I was looking at this morning. I was looking at AMD as it was holding the 50 RSI. We still have 8 days for this candle to close on the monthly. But man, if we were to get anywhere near 72.50, I would definitely be buying AMD. I got stopped out up here of my swing buy because they do have buybacks. And they're an unbelievable fundamental company, but I can't trade on fundamentals. I have to wait for price to confirm. And we're holding the monthly 50 RSI, and I want to see what it looks like in 8 days. But this is on life support. No good news for ya. All option. Yeah, Amira Asia, if you're talking about FCX, I'm assuming you're the one that asked me about FCX. Yep. That candle yesterday is a cause to pause. So remember, he is asking about, he bought some with 12-hour oversold. This is an earnings reaction. There's a 3-day rule. Because remember, so what's going to happen now? They busted on earnings, okay? Now we're going to have the downgrades. Then we're going to have CNBC coverage. That's why there's a 3-day rule. It takes a few days for all of this negativity to flush itself out. So be careful with what you got. All right, that's it for me. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notify button. Just hit a button and use stop losses.